Oh, okay. So far, I've taken 9 weeks to get through less than 6 weeks of my plan. Having said that, to give myself some sort of leeway, there were 2.5 weeks when I haven't been working because I've been away for one reason or another. So if I'd taken that into account, I'd be a bit closer. It's progressing. I worked on the driver's side of the engine bay today, and we've made progress, but there's quite a lot to do. So there's probably at least one, if not two more episodes just on the driver's side to come. I'll decide if I want to. I've done quite a lot of time lapse within this episode, and I'll decide if I want to do as much of that again, or if I'll just give an update, in which case I'll cover more in fewer episodes, if you see what I mean. I think it might be harder to time lapse from the other side, and so that's why. But we'll see how we go. Enjoy and have a good week. Okay, we're going to start on the driver's side. I've still got a couple of bits to do on the passenger side, but I'll come back to them because I've moved the car back over against this wall. So we're going to start by taking off those brake pipes, and I think this is some sort of horn thing or something. So we're going to get those out of the way so that we can work. And is this the I think that might be the clutch cable. Anyway, we'll get it all out of the way and we'll start cleaning it up. Okay, it's more or less cleaned off. So what do we need to do? We're going to have to replace this bit here, which we've done that kind of thing before, so it should be okay. We've got to come down here more than on the other one. But again, that shouldn't be too bad, and we've got a couple of holes here. We've also got a bit on the suspension tunnel, which we'll need to look at, but that doesn't look too bad. Tiny bit up at the top, fine. And this side is fairly similar. This is worse, but again, it's not worse than we dealt with on the passenger side. So okay, we can work through each of those one step at a time. I'm disappointed with, but then there's a surprise. Disappointed with this. I've cleaned it off now, and we can see we've got holes here, right on the wing. And so really, I need to take it off down here and across, which I had been really trying to avoid having to do. But I think I'm going to have to down across. So that's going to be quite tough without taking the fender off, and I don't want to do that. Clearly we've got to come up here, and so that also means that this bit here, which goes down and then underneath the fender, so the fender gets welded onto it, also needs to be replaced. I mean, you can see, I mean, there's very little of that left. There's more of the fender than there is of the under support thing. So I might have no choice but to take the fender off, but that's then going to create all kinds of problems about making that look nice again. So we'll see. So all of that stuff I've dealt with before. I am, as usual, disappointed about how much, but there we are. I'm a bit more worried about here, because I've got to get a piece across the outside here and into there, and I don't really want to have to, you know, cut this out and stuff. So I've got to work out how to sort of get support across here. And then I was thinking that I hadn't realised when I was in the passenger or driver area that was I thought it was just on the outside and I could tackle it from this side, but looking at it now, I'm clearly going to have to get back inside there, and because it appears to be two skins, and I would suggest that that's probably the only way I'll be able to make it strong anyway, is to get 2 bits in. So I guess we'll be going back into the driver footwell for a little bit. Okay, so here now this is where the support bracket for the engine mount goes, and the back of the engine mount was completely rusted through. That needs a bit more cleaning, and I might need to actually do something more here as well. Still, okay, we've got it cleaned off. We will start working through it slowly. Yeah, we will avoid doing the wing until the last minute when I've decided what to do, and we'll also avoid doing this until the last minute when I've decided what to do. So I think tomorrow we'll start here and look to replace this outside bit and see how much of that inner fender, inner wing we need to do. Okay, that's what we'll start with, and then we'll work around from there. Right, so we still need to trim some of this off, and we've got to get a bit out here still, and flatten this, flatten down at the bottom, and then this piece goes in here, okay, which should be okay. But this is the inner wheel arch, and we can see that we've got a hole here, and this should actually come along to about here before it comes down. So actually I've got a section here in the inner wheel arch which I need to think about as well, before I go on. And then I was looking underneath. So here, this is the flange for that. So here both bits have welded through, in fact all the way down. It's effectively welded, I guess, where they probably didn't have any paint. Sorry, it's effectively rusted where I guess they didn't have any paint. So we will have to deal with that as well. Fun. Anyway, so we're going to what are we going to do? I don't want to particularly take all of that out, and I don't want to take too much out before I'm putting it back together because I'm not confident enough in myself. So I think what we're gonna try cleaning up around here, and if I think I can weld in a piece down here and across like that, then that's what I'm gonna do. I'm going to have to cut a lot of the video from the previous. I know I'm going to have to cut a lot of video from the previous time lapse, or the one before. I hope my latest one was a bit better and I had a better angle on it. I still got a couple of holes here, so there needs to just a little bit more welding here, and then this comes in like that. Okay, and I'm using a bit, it welds here but not along here, so it sits on top there. Okay, so that comes in there. I'm going to have to trim it off a bit better, and it's just sticking out a bit here. So I don't know if I've still got some metal, or it's just that I'm using thicker metal, and that's causing it. But we should be able to get a decent fit, and I'm going to need to make sure I put a couple of holes here for plug welds, so I'll get underneath and mark out where that goes, more or less. But that's not looking too bad so far. Yeah, so we'll fill those holes in here off camera, and then we'll come back to try to put it all back together. Okay, so in order to get it to fit in here, I've ended up going down too far, which is a bit irritating. But that goes in. Now, the bend I've got in there is a little bit too much. So when I've got it clamped at the top, it's sticking out a bit here. So I'm just going to straighten that out a bit. I'm going to get on the other side. I'm going to clamp it, get on the other side, and mark where I need to drill for plug welds. Drill the plug welds, put some primer on there, both on here and on here, and I'm going to go have lunch whilst it dries. I've run out of wire, so we'll have to order a new one. I haven't got any spare in the garage anywhere. Managed to find somewhere local that had wire, so I went and got it just before they shut for the day. So hopefully I'll be able to finish off this patch today. we're going to call that done. We're going to finish this episode here, and we'll move on. Next episode we're going to do this. It's rusty all the way down to there, down to the bottom. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do this bit first. Now what I don't know is if I'll do all the way down to the bottom or if I'll do it in two sections. One and then the bottom section. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a patch that goes in here and comes down below, and then I'll trim off below and then weld in the flange underneath. Okay, and then we'll be able to take this bit off on the outside and weld one in on top. So that's how I'm going to do it, and then I'll do the same down below as well. So that's the plan for that, but that comes up in the next exciting episode of Henry's Garage.